This is CJ back again at the GOAT Sports Talk. Of course, we already did the box score of the Golden State Warriors. Of course, we know about the domination that they had in Game 2, 132 to 113. The game would have been a lot uglier. And, we know about the domination across the board with the bench play, with pretty much the, three of the top four players for Golden State really had very good games, of course, led by Kevin Durant. And now we're kind of going into the box score of Cleveland, okay? Now, with this inside the box score, this is kind of just brings things to perspective. Of course, we know that, there's things between the lines. We saw a strategy that you really can't see within the box score, different intangibles, rotation sets, and when those things occur. But ultimately, when you look at the box scores, you do get a good understanding of the picture. And that's the reason why, coaches and players alike, and real, pretty much analytic and experts, they use the box score because it does tell a telltale sign. One of the key aspects of the box score you're going to be looking at is really the plus minus. Now, the plus minus in this, of course, as we know, Cleveland lost, so of course they're not going to have as much of an impact. As you see, with LeBron, he was minus 11, Kyrie minus 17, Tristan Thompson minus 18, and J.R. Smith minus 18 as well. And that makes sense because when you look at those three starters, they really did not do what they needed to do as players. And the thing about the plus minus is that if a player does what they're supposed to do on a good team, they're going to be in the positive. And the reason why you have to say that is because if they're doing their role, it'll show up in the plus minus in some way, usually. Okay? And that's how you get a general rule of who is playing pretty well. Now, of course, when you look at it, what's been going on, the play of J.R. Smith has been incredible. I'm going to start there. Usually, we're just going to start from the bottom and go up top. J.R. Smith has actually only hit one field goal, all right, this whole playoffs, okay? A starting two guard in an NBA Finals has only hit one field goal. You're not going to win games with that happening. I don't care. You're just not going to win games and getting no production from an offensive position. That's critical. If I'm not mistaken, he hit the first shot in the NBA Finals, and since then he has hit nothing. Another thing, he had 4 fouls. If you recall in the game, he had some bad, terrible fouls. It's like his head wasn't in the game at all. His mind was in Cleveland. I know he had some personal issues, of course, because he had a kid that was born premature. And I believe, either right before the finals, the baby was brought back home. So for me, when I was looking at that, I thought that would actually help him out because he would not have to think about the baby. So I expected him to kind of have a big series. It's possible that him being away from the baby and not really being around the baby, that his mind could have been in Cleveland, and being on the road, it can be tough. So I think with him going back, seeing his baby healthy, seeing his wife and his other kids, for him as a role player, that could be very important. It can charge him up. Hopefully he draws some kind of inspiration for those that are Cleveland supporters, because you're going to need it. J.R. Smith is going to need to do a lot better, and we'll get into some of that when we go over pretty much some of the pregame things that they need to do. But he pretty much got an F. It's just really not been good play from him at all, and he owes his teammates a very big game on Game 3. He just owes them one. I'm not talking about he has to score a bunch of points, but he needs to hit a couple of threes. He needs to make a couple of big defensive plays. He needs to get a dunk or something. He needs to get the crowd going. He needs to do something momentum-wise to affect the game. Now, Kyrie, those points are very deceptive. Kyrie got some of those points when the game was kind of getting out of hand. He could hit a couple of layups here and there. He hit a couple of shots, but the game was already pretty much over. Kyrie Irving, with this particular game that he played, I'm gonna have to give him a D, man, like a D plus, C minus. Really, reason why I'm giving him a little bit more is because he had 7 assists. Even though he had the 3 turnovers, he doesn't usually get a lot of assists. And considering that not many people were hitting shots, the fact that he was able to do whatever he does as far as creating opportunities for others, I can't give him a full F because he did a little bit of something. But other than that, he shot terrible from the field again. He's just not playing good ball. Looking at highlights from last year's game when he was guarded by Tristan, by Klay Thompson, he pretty much was able to hold his own. I mean, but some of the moves and things that he was doing last year was different. So I don't know if he's just fatigued. I doubt that he's fatigued because he's just so young. I mean, he's literally not even in his physical prime yet. He's just young. When you were younger and you were in your 20s, man, especially like your early to mid 20s, and you were just a monster. Like, that's how he should be feeling right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you guys know what I'm talking about, especially you guys are in your 30s and 40s. These young guys, they don't understand that feeling. So, but I mean, I don't think that should be the issue energy-wise. Now, he's just gonna have to step it up. I mean, he's just not playing well. Now we're gonna move on up, man, to Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson, man, he gets a D. And let me tell you why. Because a couple of those shots that he made those in the second half, pretty much in the fourth quarter. In the first half, he didn't have no real effect. I mean, the guy's grabbing 4 rebounds, bro. Like, you're a guy in the playoffs. Tristan Thompson is expected to be pretty much a 10-10 guy at this point in his career. He's getting paid big money. We'll look into some of those things, but this is just not going to get it done. Now, they're saying they're throwing 2 bodies on him. That's the reason why, Kevin Love had a whole bunch of rebounds in game 1, 21 boards. But I just don't see that as an excuse because he's just bigger and stronger than pretty much anybody who they throw at him on Golden State. He's not battling with Bogut. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's a very weird thing to not see him grab at least 8 boards a game. To me, an average game for Tristan Thompson is him being active on the offensive glass, probably grabbing, if he has 8 rebounds, I expect like 5 of them maybe to be at offensive and some putbacks, second chance points. But in the playoffs, he needs to be like a 10-10 guy. You need to get to about 2 or 3 field goals just off of putbacks alone. 2 of them off of alley-oops. One where he might just, he just throws the ball in for a baby hook and it goes in. That's cool. That's cool with a lot of us. Okay, that's cool with a lot of us. If you just have a regular center, you just want to get some kind of production out of him. Nothing out of this guy. I don't know if this guy's mind is with Khloe Kardashian out in L.A. I don't know if Khloe Kardashian is going to show up and somehow inspire him. Maybe bring another Kardashian or a Jenner that's going to make him feel good, and he's just going to be like happy to see them. And he's just going to show out. I don't know, but. It's ridiculous. 2 guys, particular in this lineup, that's sticking out. That's just not showing up. J.R. Smith and Tristan Thompson. It's just unbelievable. I mean, oh man. I mean, it's crazy right now. Like there's nothing else to say, bro. Like if he don't, like he's got to do something. Okay. I mean, boy, oh boy, man. All right, we're gonna go move on. LeBron James. I give him. I'm gonna give him an A minus. I can't give him an A. Can't give him an A plus. The reason why, one, he had a great game. Overall, he had a great game. He had a triple double, 14 assists, 11 rebounds. Considering he got those assists, considering the way a lot of these guys are playing, is pretty incredible. You got to give him credit. He played the passing lanes well. He had 3 steals, 1 block. In game 1, he had no steals. In fact, the whole team had 0 steals. Okay, so 3 steals. He's playing. He's being able to get out there. Man, I can tell you. I'm getting to it. Probably not in this one, but we'll talk about what some of the things that Cleveland needs to do. If you're Coach Lou, what they need to do in this next game to really probably make a change in the series. But LeBron. He burned out, and it's understandable. It's something that you saw in the first half. He was attacking the basket so well. I mean, he was, oh man, he was just moving by these guys, man. And let me tell you, man, a lot of people out there wishing and hoping for the physical decline of LeBron. Listen, it's with the naked eye, it's hard to see that LeBron has physically declined. It's like you trying to tell me that the Ferrari, all right, the 458 Italia, all right, is slower than a Bugatti. Well, guess what? When they both hit 200 miles an hour, after that, they're both a blur anyway. Okay? So, LeBron would look very, very quick, athletic, springy. He was out there attacking the hoop. They put layers of defenses. The first man, he's blowing by. The second level of defense in the paint, he's getting past him. So, that's all good. He was doing that the whole first half, but you can't do that for an entire game. What LeBron is going to need to do is going to be different, which we'll talk about when we talk about what Cleveland needs to do moving forward to basically win the series. Okay, they need to win the game, but they need to start implementing different things. He looked gassed, after a while, and it's understandable. He was trying to push. Kyrie couldn't sustain a run when he was on the bench. That got out of hand when he got on the bench. LeBron tries to come back in. He's out of there. He's just gassed, man. So, he's got to. I'm pretty sure there's certain adjustments that they're gonna make, and there's gonna be adjustments that LeBron will make in his game that will actually prevent him from running out of gas that early. And we'll talk about that in another segment. Now, going on to Kevin Love. Kevin Love has had a very good series so far. Again, his play doesn't impact the game to a certain level like Kyrie or LeBron does, because of the fact that when it comes down to it in this NBA, penetration into the paint is a very big skill to have, and that's the reason why perimeter players are dominating the league, because that penetration play into the paint leads to easy buckets for themselves or for their teammates, and that's the reason why these, pretty much these wing players are dominating the league at this point. He's not a wing player. He's a face up. He's a face up stretch four with good post skills. A very good combination of skills, and you can actually very good to use, but it doesn't affect the offense overall as much. But for them, it does give them a way to get easy buckets. He's a talented guy, and to me, he's playing well. I'm gonna have to give him an A. He had 7 boards. He had 27 points. He was 2 of 7 from three. That's okay. He hit a couple of threes, but he wasn't in foul trouble. He was pretty much in the game, and he is going to have to probably play more minutes. I don't know how they're going to do it, but we'll talk about some of the things that they can do to kind of help out with some of the minutes being played by these players, because they're going to need some kind of rest a little bit during these series until probably game 6 or 7 if they're even able to get there. But they're going to need to be able to do something about that. So good game by him. I think he's going to continue doing what he's doing because of the fact that they just don't have no answer for him in the post as far as defensively. Golden State does. They just don't. He's just stronger. He's bigger than those guys, and they're having a fit, dealing with them, and they know it. It's very bad for them. So, we're gonna go over to the bench, man. The infamous bench of Cleveland. Now, as we know, the turnover battle was won by Cleveland. Cleveland's team actually had 9 turnovers, okay? So, compared to, I believe, 20 of Golden State. So they turned over that battle. The bench, good job with all those minutes, combined. Nobody turned the ball over. But the thing with the bench, outside of like Richard Jefferson, who I think is doing what he needs to do. He's doing what he needs to do. He's playing solid defense the best way he can, considering the offensive talent that's on the other side. He's basically being aggressive when he needs to be. And really, you're not expecting him to carry that load. You need him in spot minutes and in certain situations where he could be effective. Iman Shumpert playing terrible. Oh my goodness, man. And see, it's crazy because a lot of people, they look at Iman Shumpert, they look at J.R. Smith. These guys were in New York with Carmelo. They couldn't do nothing, and somehow, some way, they turned into solid, pieces to a championship team. not this go around. I don't know if these guys have hit the fatigue of winning a championship. And as role players, it's very different. Your grind is different than it is like a superstar player or an all-star caliber player on the level of like Kevin Love and LeBron and Kyrie Irving. You know, those guys know they have to be good every year. They're going to work on their game. They're going to work on their craft. They're going to try and get better. But those other guys, you know, you don't know what you're going to get with a role player, how serious did they look at this game, because especially when they sign their contracts, like J.R. Smith did, you know. But we know J.R. Smith he had some problems, you know, with, you know, his personal problems. He also had an injury at some point in the season. So you do got to give him somewhat of a pass to a certain degree. But at this time of the year, where it's the most important time for you to really step up your game, they're not doing it. Okay, Iman Shumpert, I don't know if he's, you know, if he's basically kicking it with his lovely wife. I mean, I think for a lot of men, you know, it probably would be very hard for some men to probably be able to get motivated much, you know, and leave the house and go to the gym if you have his woman. But he's got to do something. He might need to cut her off for another week or two until this thing blows over, and he just needs to focus on hitting some big shots, playing some tough defense, getting in the lane. Very athletic. He can finish around the rim. We need to see him cut to the lane. I don't know if it's part of the game plan. That's something we'll talk about. But he can finish with the best of them around the rim, and he needs to basically play big, play athletic, play strong. He's just not doing it. So he gets a D. I'm going to just give him a D. He got to the line. He got 6 points. You know, he got 3 steals. So he is doing a little something. Now, Deron Williams, man. You know, you had a lot of people that was upset about the fact that LeBron was able to get Deron Williams in his trade. But a lot of people don't know. Deron Williams, he came in the same class as CP3. In fact, back in the day, he used to dominate CP3, believe it or not. I used to watch those games. He used to handle CP3. CP3's kryptonite was Deron Williams when he was in his prime. Now in days, not the same. Amazing. I believe the guy's 32 years old, same age as LeBron, same age pretty much as Chris Paul. And you're like, what is going on with this guy? How are you looking like a 36-year-old player that's ready to retire at the age of 32? I know he had some injuries. I don't know if he lost his motivation, but it's amazing that a guy as skilled as he was, even if he doesn't have his same explosiveness and quickness, he did have a good mid-range jumper. He did have a solid handle, could get to the rim. And even at this age, you would think he should still be effective. He's just not getting the job done right now. And there's some issues with that, and it's glaring. So I don't know what they're going to get out of him. He gets an F for this game. I mean, he just didn't play well at all. 0 points. I mean, oh my goodness. Whoa. Richard Jefferson. Hey, I'm going to give him a B. He did what he had to do. He had 7 points. He played some good D. Hit a 3-point shot. You shouldn't be expecting that much from a guy at his age. And if he gives you that and he's playing smart basketball, he's not turning the ball over, which you notice about a lot of older veteran players, they don't make big mistakes. And that's what's great about having a veteran player that can play spot minutes. He can play a good 10 to 15 minutes and give you some good play and not make a mistake. That's very good. Okay. Now, Channing Frye, man, he's got to have a bigger series. He gets an F. He's just got to play well. I mean, this bench play of Cleveland is freaking atrocious, man. Like, you can't compare it with what Golden State got coming off the bench. And the funny thing about it, people thought that Cleveland was a deep team, and they looked good during the regular season when they came in rotations and LeBron and Kyrie giving them easy shots and hitting threes and things like that. It's just not happening. Now, Derek Williams, he only played 4 minutes. I can't really say anything about him. But, you know, there's a very good possibility that Derek Williams will get some more burn PT in different lineup sets and packages. They have to consider that. I don't know why they weren't grooming him through the playoffs to kind of use him and gain his confidence for the finals. Oh, man. There's a whole nother topic on some of the stuff that's going on with Tyronn Lue and if he's just not seeing certain things. But we'll get to that later. So this is pretty much it. The box score for Cleveland, game 2. Whoa. They got some problems on hand. They better win tomorrow or it's over. It's over. All right.